Hey y'all, it's Indigo here, coming at you with round 3 of the Grand Arena Championships. This is Season 1, Week 1, so the first go-around of the championships. Let me start off by giving a quick shout-out to my patrons. I want to thank you guys for your support. Starting off with Gold, Johnny Cron, Castle, Wingnut, Rival, Rumrunner23, and DinoCon V. Silver is Mikayas and Bruh. And then my basic patrons are Spets, Eckel, Kazi, Go Cubs, Raylo, Darth Kiwi, Mr. Herman, and Uncle Chow. Glad to have you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Anyone else interested in joining the party, check out the link down in the corner. I'll mention, even if it's not me, the beginning of the month is a great time to consider supporting any content creators you like and checking out their Patreon, because it starts over at the beginning of the month. So even if it ain't me, check them out, and a little support goes a long way. It's much appreciated, guys. Let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to show you guys my defenses this go around. I came up with some fun teams to try out. Alright, so my opponent attacked straight away. I was busy this afternoon and evening and didn't get to attack until late. So let me show you my defenses and how they went. First off, up front, I put a Bosk Bounty Hunter squad and I threw B2 in there. Figured it would give him, he may have to use CLS or burn something decent. Maybe B2 would kind of throw off whatever he would normally use. You want to throw those curveballs in there and keep your opponent guessing. And also up front, I put in Jedi Knight Revan, because a lot of people aren't used to fighting a Jedi Knight Revan. They're expecting your Darth Revan. I mean, I could have put Darth Revan, but again, you want to keep your opponent guessing. So I put Jedi Knight Revan there and a Bosk Bounty Hunter squad. My opponent was able to one-shot both of those, but hopefully he used something decent. So let me go ahead and show you what I put in the zone behind that. Okay, over here in the back zone up top, I've got a Karth team, and I threw Stormtrooper Han in there just as an extra taunt, maybe throw some turn meter to the team. Just wanted to change it up a little bit. Again, something different. If I can put an extra taunt in there to steal away the focus, it might mess up whatever counter team he's planning on using. And then I put a Jango Bounty Hunter squad in there with Nest. You can see that it's Jango lead, got Nest in there, both of those gear 13. And then I got Vandor Chewie. I put him in there just for the heals. Figured he might draw the focus away. Some people will focus on getting him out. And then I got Boba and Cad in there. Cad with the stuns and Boba with some hard hits. It's really nice to have them in there. You can see that team held. It went 2 battles. So whatever he used, didn't work out for him. But he was able to take it down. It's a squad that people aren't expecting. They see a bounty hunter team and they think, okay, I beat this guy's bounty hunters. But now he's got, that Jango is 301 and Nest is 277 before the lead bonuses. So add plus 30 to that. He's going to need something good to outspeed that team. So always throw curveballs in and keep your opponent guessing. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I put down south out front. And, we'll keep going. So here's the first zone. Down south, I put this Dooku team. It's a little, mix. Dooku lead, Magna. I put L3 in there just as a constant taunt. And then B1. And then I put Mother Talzin in there. Kind of separated her off from the Night Sisters. She works really good under Dooku lead. That plague being able to get underneath protection and start taking off health, and that's going to trigger the healing immunity, all that good stuff from Dooku's lead, and just basically make this team annoying. And if nothing else, it's going to take off some banners That's the idea anyway. And you can see it went 3 battles. So he one-shot the geos down there underneath. I left one of the geos off, I think it was Soldier, and put Newt on there. And if I remember, I think he got like 56 banners off that geo team. So it's a decent team to take banners off your opponent. They're not just going to be able to cheese it with something easy. And then that Dooku team, I mean, he struggled on that one. So glad to see that that worked. And this is an opponent that went kind of heavy offense, I think. My opinion is he went heavy offense, but you guys can decide that later. So this is what I have in the front zone and how that worked. And let me show you the last zone in the back down there and what went on there. All right, so down there you can see I've got an EP lead team, but I put my Fallen Bastila on there. She's 315 speed, and you know anytime you see the Fallen Bastila on there, she's going to go pretty much first, and she throws down a ton of debuffs to help fuel the team. Well, he spun that team up, and he won a couple battles on it, and that team's still standing. I honestly think that he's got nothing left to get past it. And it's going to take a lot. You know, you can't outspeed that, especially now that they're spun up. And then you can see what I did with the remainder of my Night Sisters. I just did a Daka lead Night Sister team, threw Xeris in there for the extra heals. I was hoping it would get a hold and gain tons and tons of health, and he'd have a hard time getting through it. But he was still able to one-shot it. I think he got 57 banners on that. So those are the teams I used, and that's how my opponent did. As of right now, this is later on, that team's still standing and he hasn't tried it again. So I don't know if he's just done or what. But let's go ahead and get into the battles. I'm going to show you guys what I did to his teams and how all those matchups went down. Okay, here's what my opponent set. Let's go up top. He's got his Genosians there, and then he set just a standard Karth team. So that's what he's got waiting for me out front. Didn't put any Revens out there to worry about. And the way that he got through mine, I don't know. I'm thinking he didn't set any Revens. Down south, he's got just a Django lead bounty hunter team and some Shakti-led clones. So let's start taking them out, and I'll show you what I used. I went ahead and used my Imp Troopers against his bounty hunters. Even with Django lead, he wasn't close to outspeeding me. So it really doesn't make a difference. If you're going to have bounty hunters, make them fast. And that way at least you can throw Django lead, give them a speed boost. But if your opponent has faster Imp Troopers than your bounty hunters, you're giving them a free 60 banner win, which is what he did here. You can see it doesn't matter what he put down, even though he's got IG-88 there, and he's squishy. They're all squishy if you go first. It doesn't matter. So that's that. 60 banners for his bounty hunters. On to the next team. For his Shakti clones, he had a real low gear 5s and then a real low gear Cody. And I don't think he had the Zetas on Shakti. So I don't know if it was just a filler squad and he wanted to put it down. I think if he put enough work into it, it would be a decent squad. But with the way it is now, they were such low gear that you could easily take them out. So I went ahead and did CLS, Han, and Chewie, and then Chirrut and Baze. I figured Baze would be nice for the AoE Dispel. Chirrut with the ability to get rid of any debuffs and heal. You know, I haven't gone up against the clones too much with like outside of using a Revan that I had left over. But you can see that CLS tears through this undergeared clone squad pretty well. So as long as your opponent doesn't have top-notch clones, I think you can get away with this. And I get 57 banners for it, and that's fine. Because with his score and him not even clearing my board, I don't have to worry about perfect efficiency. Now let's see what he's gotten back waiting for me. And he's got a Grievous team back there, but then he also put Phoenix back there. So I got one tough squad to deal with and one weak squad. And he's got fully geared, fully zated Phoenix, but that doesn't mean anything. It's really a waste of a squad, in my opinion. All those Zetas could have been put to better use, but maybe he used them for fleet. I don't know. So that's what he's gotten back. Let's go ahead and take care of this front and see what he's got hiding behind there. Okay, so first up, I'm going to take out his Geos with the Jawas. I really like using them. They're not great for banner efficiency, but all I have to do is win in one. It really doesn't matter how many banners I get. I just win in one. And so I laugh at all the people that are like, I gotta use my Treya. I don't know what I'm going to use to take out his Geos. Dude, just gear up your Jawas. Bite the bullet, take them to 12, and be done with it. Have an almost guaranteed counter. So that's what I did there. And then my favorite counter for a Karth team is just standard first order. They work really well. I've mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. It's because of the dots. All the status effects help with protection, help with health regeneration. First order gets 5% health and protection every time they get a status effect. So not just a buff, but anytime they get the dots and other debuffs, it's healing the team. So we take this match just the way we normally would. I like to stun Zalbar and kind of get him out of the way for a minute. And then I'll go work on mission, get rid of her in a couple of hits with Executioner. And then it's just a matter about who can I get to. Once I start lowering everybody's health, you know, it's going to activate Zalbar's taunt. But if I can keep somebody under 100 health, then I can continue to work on him without him regaining the taunt. So that's the only thing you got to watch out for. But the good part is you'll use Crew's, his unique, or his special ability. It's that 2-turn stun. That'll get rid of the taunt. And then also Executioner's big move will help you get rid of the taunt. So we just keep doing that. It takes a minute. You want to keep also hitting with basic on Crew. Anytime you hit a debuffed enemy, that way he'll keep the taunt up. You want him to take a lot of the dots over Stormtrooper because he'll heal up a lot easier and he takes less damage. Whereas Stormtrooper, he doesn't have that reduced percentage damage, and if he gets too low on health, it's harder to heal him up. And I like to get 60 banners if I can. So you can see I'm trying to top everybody off. There went Zalbar. Now it's just getting rid of Karth and Juhani and trying to make sure everybody's topped up, got all their health and protection back. So you just want to keep giving them buffs, especially if you can do the taunt from First Order Stormtrooper. He'll throw out defense up and can throw out advantage. Try and do all that to top everybody off. And I do. So there's 60 banners for that team. And like I said, I don't need 60 banners, but it's fine if I get it. And that's a good 60 banner team. This was a bit of a surprise. He put Night Sisters. I was expecting that. But then he put his Padme team back there too. So I didn't think that he would use Padme on defense. So tried to save a little surprise for me in the back. But that's fine. I got the teams to handle that. You can see this first matchup there I took was my own Padme team against his Night Sisters. That's my preferred counter. They're really good about being able to just get rid of the debuffs, and they have so much protection up that once that's up, they don't have to worry about getting debuffs in the first place. I don't have to worry about them losing any turn meter. I mean, Padme is a solid squad, whether you're going against Asajj lead or Towson lead, you know, doesn't matter. They have built-in mechanics that make them perfect to go against Night Sisters. And I got Shakti as my 5th in there, is because at the time of lock, she wasn't all the way geared up. She's G11. I think she was like 3-4 stars in this. So as good as I could get her in time, put some decent mods on her. But I figured she'd help heal up the team. And she's good at, doing that, kind of getting rid of buffs. I still don't know everything she does, but learning as I go. She seems to make a decent fifth since I put Xeris on defense with that Night Sister squad of mine in the back. Normally I would throw Xeris in here, especially against Night Sisters. It's a great defense against the Plague. So I don't have to worry about that long as I keep the protection up. But she does have the heals and everything just as an extra. I'm working on getting Daka down. He's got some decent Night Sisters, but I was able to get Daka down there. Got Asajj low, trying to go after her. You can see Talza went off with the Plague. That calling them back, this is what I hate about MT lead when you're fighting the Night Sisters and they call the dead ones back to attack you. That can get really annoying with Daka using her basic to stun your team. That's why it's good if you can keep the protection up. Then you don't have to worry about the debuffs landing and you don't have to worry about the stun. You can see GK is taking a beating over there. He's red barred. But look, Shakti was able to help heal and give back some protection. So, keeps him alive. And it's a special move ability, so it calls Ahsoka into action because I have her Zeta on there. She assists. All that's good, helpful stuff. It's like this team was tailor-made to go against Night Sisters. So that's why I like to use it. I don't use it for a Darth Rev encounter, any of that. This is, again, just my preferred counter for Night Sisters. And you can see I'm working on getting them. Got Zombie down there. Only 55 banners there, but like I said, it gets the job done. I don't have to worry about going to second battle. Okay, we're going to jump around here a little bit. Go down and take out that General Grievous squad. Since that looks to be a tough one, want to make sure I can take it out in one. And then see what I have left. So I'll go ahead and use my Traya team here. Traya, Scion, Nihilus, Thrawn, and then I put my Savage in there. I didn't know if he'd be able to get a good hit in, use his special or not. I was running low on Sith at this point. Normally I use Trooper just because he can take kind of a beating and his taunt helps to draw the focus off the main damage dealers and draw it off Scion. But I wanted to really use him in my Darth Revan squad since I kept Darth Revan for offense and I spun off Bastilla Shan Fallen. I wanted to have Trooper in there, make sure that I had all Sith Empire. So that's why I didn't use my Trooper here. And I got Savage in there instead. Works pretty much the same way. Unfortunately, I lost Thrawn before he was able to really step in and do anything. And I like to use his Fracture on General Grievous to kind of keep him sidelined. Didn't really work out that way this time. And that's tough because it's a Gear 13 Thrawn. And he went down, seems like, pretty easily. Now I'm down to just my trio. So I got Traya, Scion, and Nihilus there. And they're looking kind of low. But I'm, taking them out kind of one by one. Doing what I can. And I really want to get Annihilate up so I can take Grievous out of the picture. It's frustrating. Scion went down. Unfortunately, Grievous was able to get him right before I was able to use his Hell by Hatred again. But I went ahead and annihilated Grievous. That makes it so much easier. So it wasn't pretty. I just got Traya left with Nihilus left. Not pretty by any means, but I'm glad I took Traya to Gear 13 so that she can take a real punch. She got a lot sturdier. I probably will take Nihilus to 13 eventually, but he gets a lot of that stacking health anyway as long as he's kept in the trio. So he did pretty well. So it wasn't pretty, but was able to finish that off, clear that without having to burn a second good team. Done with that. Now I just got Phoenix left down there, and then up top I got that Padme squad I got to deal with. But that's going to be easy. Even though I didn't plan for Padme to be back there, I got my Darth Revan team, doesn't even need my Bastilla Sean Fallen to deal with this team. You know how the Sith Empire are. And I got all Sith Empire, so they still get the damage bonus. And 4 out of 5 of those characters are all gear 13. So even with her not in there, they're still going to light up this Padme team. That's why I think it might be a good idea to think outside the box, kind of spin her off, throw her on an EP team, and you've just made that team twice as tough as it normally would be. And it didn't affect how I would use my Darth Revan, not one bit, as long as I kept him for offense anyway. Tore through that Padme, didn't have any trouble there. That zone's clear. Just got one last lowly Phoenix team to deal with, and then it's game, set, match for me. I'm already ahead of him. You could see that in the score, but I like to get that full clear anyway. So I got my Bastilla Jedi team here. Got her with Ezra, Hermit Yoda. I got Wampa. He's gear 13. Doesn't really matter. And I got IPD in there just as insurance. With the Zeta on him, since I didn't use him for the Grievous droid counter that I have, I went in and threw him in there. He's good at throwing the target lock down. And then with the Zeta on there, it's able to keep the buffs off. And I know Phoenix kind of relies on having all the buffs and protection they get back. So just an extra insurance policy. I mean, could have done undermanned, but honestly, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't necessary for the win. And personally, I don't really care about feats that much. I mean, a win's a win. I'm not going to get cute and lose over something stupid because I was trying to get cute. But if y'all like doing that underband and all that, that's fine. Go with what you know. But I got 60 banners there. I'm plenty pleased with that. So that's a full clear for me. You can see my score. I got 1889. Not the most efficient in the world, but you know, that's what happens when you use Jawas against Geos instead of burning your Traya. But then that saves your Traya. And that's exactly why he put his Padme in the back, thinking, hey, he's not going to have enough teams. Well, I upgraded my Jawas. I don't have to deal with that. So that's it for me, you guys. Hope y'all enjoyed this, and we'll catch you next week whenever the next week of these championships starts up. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters. Give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace.